Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to another video in this plugin development series. In this video, we will be creating our very first custom post type for our portfolio items. Without wasting any of our time, let's quickly jump into the development. Let me remind you, we were here, we have created our first plugin, we have activated it, and now it's time for actual development. So here we were in the last video. Okay, so first of all, before creating any post type or anything, we have to create few constants, right? I'll be explaining what each constant does, and I will also be providing you post link of the our website for the written tutorial where you can find all the codes and you can get better understanding and more details about what each line of that particular code does. Okay, so first para first let me just okay, so the first constant in this particular case is our plugin version. Okay, we can create a plugin version number. So why to use it? Okay, so we can update version in one place, use it when including assets to burst caches. Like once we are defining or creating our assets with the wp enqueue parameter or wp register parameter, and by updating version number simply here, we can update at one single place. Also in future plugin development, whenever you have to you know add some checks based on the current version number of the plugin for dependencies and things like that, you can always update it at one single time. Okay, so why we used wpcp? We have simply tried to make sure we are using our wpcp. So it is a naming convention we usually prefer to avoid conflicts with other plugin developers or other plugins on the WordPress repo. Okay, for more details, you can always check our post for better understanding. Now we have to move to our next constant, which is named as, obviously our naming convention will be staying same. So we can keep path of our plugin main file like this one. Okay, so we can create it like this. So rather than in future, rather than using this thing, we can, because this thing works in this particular file and will be storing path of the file. So whenever we need to use this path, we will be simply using this thing. Okay, so next we can create one more, and this time obviously our wpcp, we can create it as a plugin deal. Okay, and in this particular one, we can save the directory path of our main plugin. All right, why we will be doing that? The reason for that is we can use it in our including or in our addition of the files, like whenever we have to add any of our include template, so we can use this path because it will be saving our server path. Okay, so for file includes we always needed server path, so that's why we will be creating it. Okay, so finally we can also create our url path of the plugin to include our assets, so we can simply move it obviously our wpcp, and we can say it like plugin url. Okay, now I hope you are getting why we are using these names, because anyone creating a plugin will also be creating their own constants with such names and such paths. So to avoid those conflicts and any issues during that phase, we have to create our naming convention which works in this way. Okay, so far so good. Let's quickly see, try to refresh our page and plugin. Obviously nothing happens here, and luckily no errors too, so everything is fine. Okay, what we are doing now, we have created our constants, so we will be using these constants in our actual development. Now in this series or in this video, we were creating our portfolio post. So how to create a portfolio? For that we use WordPress function register post type WordPress. Okay, you can always check documentations to be certain and to see what's going on. Okay, if you see this and you just try to figure it out, you can see and you can find more information about, even you can find codes from this particular site. Okay, if I simply just to show you what's going on, if I simply paste this code here, okay, and load my plugin, so what it will be doing, we will be seeing a books post type. Okay, here it is, books, all books, add new books. Okay, so our post type is there, but we will not be using this at all. We will first of all we will be following OOP structure, and we will be having a proper file structure to create these things. Okay, so we will not be pasting any code in this file, but we will be creating our file for that particular functionality. Name of that file is class wp creative portfolio.php. Obviously it is a php file. Now, why we did that? The reason is we will be using oops in our plugin development series. Why oops? Because oops gives us more control and class based structures where it is always easy to organize our code and to make future changes. Okay, first things first, you know what we have to do first. Obviously we have to first of all make sure our code is always in a proper format. I'm just zooming out a bit so you can see. Okay, so now anyone who creates, who tries to open this file in the browser will see nothing because we are just exiting. We already discussed this thing, so now move on to the actual phase. Okay, so we are creating our class, so we can name it something like, I think WP underscore creative underscore portfolio is perfect for our case. All right. So next thing is we have to create our construct. You know construct exactly, a function which runs whenever we create an object. Okay. So what we were doing in that code which we just copied from WordPress, yes, we were registering our post type. So we have to simply say CPT stands for custom post type. So I am just adding a comment for better understanding so you guys know what's going on. Okay, to create a post type, we have to hook our callback function with a action hook like this. Okay, perfect. So because we are using this very same code but in an our class like in OOP structure, so we have to obviously add our same action. The name of our hook is init, which works on the once our WordPress initializes. Now we have to use this because our callback function will be residing in this particular class. Okay, so we can name it something like register portfolio post, or I can say obviously custom post type. Now you have to make sure you know what's going on. Your naming convention is very solid. Your naming conventions should always be up to the mark, so you or anyone in the future who sees your code knows what's going on. All right, now we have to create this callback function. Which callback function? This one. So I'm just copying it and I am creating it like this. Okay, so I will be using some commenting format so we know, or anyone who comes to our code in future knows what's going on and what this callback does. Perfect. So I can say it register portfolio custom post type. Perfect. Now we have to create our callback function. Okay, so this was the name of our function. Obviously I missed function like this. All right, so what will be going on? So once we create object of our class and construct will be calling upon, and once constructor called and once init action runs, our callback will run, which is here. Now we have to simply add the code of our post type in this particular phase. So if you see, this is add action and this is callback function, and if I simply copy this code from here and paste it in our callback, and again you will see our book post type should be there. So it's not there. Why it's not there? Anyone got any idea? Okay, let me quickly show you. So no, there is no issue of code at all. The reason is, we have created our class, but we haven't created any of instance. So we can create here that particular instance, or I would be preferring to create something here. Okay, like this. So we can say run plugin. Okay, all right. So we can say something like function, and we can call it like wp run wp creative or portfolio, or whatever we want to name this function. Okay, I will be showing what we are doing here now. Use If you see, we have to simply create object of this class. That's all. Right now, will it work? No, it will not, because we have to simply run this function as well. So now, first of all, this function will run, and once this function run, it will create object of this particular class. Will it work now? Anybody? Any guess? Yes, exactly. It will not work. The reason for that is, we have created our class here, but that class is unknown to this particular our plugin file. So what to do? We have to include our class here. Exactly. Right. So how to include our class? We can use require once. Okay, require once. And if you don't know these things, we will be discussing those in our post in more details. So as we are including a template, we will be using this. It will be keeping part to our plugin folder. Right now, what will be the path? The path is, under our plugin, our file resides inside includes folder. So we have to write our includes, and then we have to write our class file name. I hope you guys are getting what I am doing. All right. So again, we have created few constants to store path of our plugin file and plugin main plugin folder and URL of website based directory, or I would say server side path and website side path. So to include our custom PHP file, I use that constant, and in that class I have created code for our custom post type at the moment, which we copied from WordPress, and then we have created an instance of our class and run a function. So now if we go here, and if we didn't make any mistake, our books class should be showing up here. All right, so here it is. Perfect. So it means our code is working fine. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I will not be using any of that code. So it was only to show you how to do it. But our purpose is not to copy paste. Our purpose is to learn. Okay? Exactly. Because once we write code, we learn how to actually build. That's the main thing. Okay, now simply I am creating a variable named as options. Why we do that? Because if you remember, in plugin intro we said we will be creating our settings for the plugin. What those settings will be doing? We will be creating uh, dynamic names. So whatever name they want to use, like they, instead of books, they want to name this post as items, so they will be saving items in the post setting. and that items will be showing as the name of the post type. So we will be coming to that shortly. Okay, now we will be giving some more name, singular. So what we want to say to our post? Yes, we can say whatever we want to do, but in our case we can say it portfolio. Okay, and what we want to say, plural name of items, obviously portfolios, obviously singular and plural. Plural means portfolios, for singular portfolio. Okay, so now one we can create one more variable named as slug, so we can say it portfolio or whatever slug we want to use. I will be showing you all these later once we have created our actual post type, right? Now we coming to our labels array. What labels array does? Exactly as the name suggests, it works as labels of the post, like name, which we see here, for example, pages. So it is a label, and here you can also read more details what labels does. Okay, so I am here to provide you details, and now we will be using these things one by one. So once you are under development, you can see those docs, but once you have done few times, you will be remembering all those things with ease. So like what it does. Okay, so what will be the name of our label? Yes, label here means once our post shows here, it should be for portfolio, it should say portfolios, right? So we can say our, yes, we can say our name is equal to plural, but what should be our singular name? Singular name, what should be the name of the single item? Yes, exactly, singular. That's why we created those variables. So we have not to create those again and again. Okay, so add a new, we can at the moment say like this, add new, and here something is coming very good for you, that is translation. Yes, translation, exactly. It's text domain to make sure our plugin is translation ready. So any static string we use, we will be using this thing. From where we are taking it, because we asked or told our plugin that our text domain will be this thing. So wherever we are using like this, our text string is translation ready, which we can translate with translation plugins like WPML or others. Okay, so it is just to show you, but we can use our, obviously, this thing as well to say it, add new portfolio, add new book, whatever. So it's up to you, and it's like an assignment for you guys to do it. Okay, so next is add new item. So what we want to say here? Yes, it should say add new portfolio. But as we are not using our portfolio name directly, so we can use something like, oh, what we are doing? We have to make sure we are not assigning, we are passing parameters. So I just didn't notice it. Okay, so we have to make sure we are providing our variable name. So how to do that? We can use sprintf for that thing. Yes, because in that case we can also provide some item, some static thing, and with that we can add our, yes, exactly, we can add our variable. Okay, like in this case we can say add new, and here we can pass, yes, exactly, reference to our item, which is will be becoming singular. Now here comes our text domain, and outside we pass our singular. Yes, what it does, it will be simply replacing this thing with singular. So whatever singular contains will become here. Like if it contains portfolio, it will become add new portfolio. If it contains book, it will become add new book. So now I can simply copy and replace it. Okay. Yes, because we have to simply change these settings. Edit item, we can, yes, exactly, we can say edit portfolio. The purpose, you, I know, yes, it may be confusing for you, but it's not actually it's not. Okay, so we can say it like new portfolio. Yes, and if we have to use it view item, so here we can say it view portfolio. Very self-explanatory. I am just copying the line rather than retyping it again and again. Okay, so for search items, yes, I can say it search. Here, search items, we have to add here plural. Yes, so we can say search portfolios or search books. Exactly. So for not found, we can say not found portfolio. Or we can also say portfolio not found. So it depends what we want to say. So as it is in our full control, we can do whatever we want to say. And finally, we can use not found in trash. So that is also useful because we will be having items in trash. Yes, trash portfolio. All right. So our labels are done. If you see here, almost all required are done, but you can check all those things what these done, and so we can you can say yes, you can utilize as per your needs. Okay, now comes our next parameter, which is arguments. So we can say it as array 2. Yes, not 2 but 2. Like we can say it array as arguments. So here what we will be passing, we will first of all be passing our labels which we created above. Yes, so what it will do, it will be actually creating our post type with all those name labels which we, yes, which we adjusted here. Exactly. Next thing is public. If we want to, whether we want to make our post type public or private or whatever, so is it, should it be visible or not? Yes, obviously we want to have it public because we want to use it. Should it has archive page? It depends on us, but I think yes, we can create that one too. For exactly for better understanding and SEO purposes, it's great to have that. Okay, rewrite. What slug we want to use for the post? As you know, we already created our slug variable, so here we can use that. It is array, so we have to pass it slug. Okay, so we can use that. This way we are giving user control. Like if they, instead of portfolio, they want to say it book slug, they will be simply saving setting as book and it will become our book poster. Yes, and next comes is sports. That's very important for us. What sports actually does, it it contains all those items which we want to use. We want to have an editor. I think we should also have a thumbnail. Obviously, we will be using it for our post image, for our portfolio image. Menu icon. Do we want to use it? Yes, we should use it. I can go with dash icons and we can use portfolio. Yes, portfolio is available. From where I got it. So dash icons WordPress. If you go to here, you can check available icons and based on your post type you can use. So we are creating portfolio. Yes, portfolio is available obviously. So yes, I written that because I want to know you guys can understand from where I am getting all those items. So in rest, now WordPress move towards Gutenberg blocks and REST APIs and things like that. So adding this thing gives us option to have our post available in REST API. Okay, everything is done, and now only thing which is pending is the, yes, registered post type. So now we have to use our registered post type, and here we will be passing our name of the post type. In this case, I will be using WP portfolio. I think that is a better name. And here we will be passing our arguments. So that's all. Right? If we just view this into the backend and we didn't make any mistakes, obviously we made some mistakes. Okay, we made some mistakes. Why I am seeing you or showing you all those things? If I wanted, I would have made those, editings and things like that. But that's not the case. That's to show you, because once you are developing, you have not to worry about these things. You have to be certain. You have to make sure you know what each line does and what and how we debug those things to make it work. Yes. So if you see, it is clearly saying some sort of our errors. It says like our argument having some string conversion, which means we are having issues in our code. So where we are having these issues, now we have to debug those issues one by one. Exactly. Because the purpose of our development is to learn how to code. Yes, so now we have to figure it out. You are with me, so I am feeling no pressure at all, no issues at all. So our labels are there, public is there, has archive, slug is there. Everything seems fine to me. I couldn't get any issues at the moment. So I have to recheck what's going on. Array to string conversion. Okay, so it says we are having some issue. Okay, so if you see, the issue is array to string conversion, where we are passing arrays. We are passing arrays in our arguments, like this array and this array. So for register post type, the arguments which we send first is the args array. So now we have to check. Okay, so if you see this, here we made a spelling mistake. Now come back to it and we see labels. Yes, so that exactly. During typing, we make mistakes and we have to learn these accordingly. So now if I save it and if I run again, it should be all right. And here it is. Perfect. Yes, exactly. You have not to worry about these errors because these are the learning curves. Everybody makes mistakes, and in this particular way, we learn how to fix those issues, how to debug properly, how to understand our code structure in better way. Now we have created our portfolio, and if I just go here, I can show you this is our portfolio post type wp underscore portfolio, which is coming from here. And if you see our labels, you would note that all our labels are here: portfolios, add new portfolio. And if I create a portfolio page post type, some post item, and I also choose about the post. Okay, and I publish it. That's the main reason I am taking you here. Post not found. Why it is not found? The reason is we have created a very new plugin, we have created a very new post type, and once we do that, we have to flush permalinks. Okay, so we have to simply save our permalinks, and if we go again and view our post is there. But how to fix this issue whenever we create a new post type, new plugin or theme activation, and how to fix it? For that, we can use flush permalinks, and once our plugin activates, we can call back a activation hook, and in that hook we can use flush permalinks, which we will be doing in our later videos. Okay, so we can give you more details about it, like if we have to create few database tables, how to do that and things like that. By now we are simply manually flushing it. We have to just save and our portfolio item is there. Okay, so I feel we have covered a lot of ground in very much details. So we started from our constant creation, then we created our custom class in under includes folder, In that class, we created our init hook and binded it with our callback method, and in that method we have created our post type. Now come to this thing. As I mentioned earlier, I will be showing you why we saved these variables. Like, if I say, instead of portfolios and portfolio, I have to say it project and projects. Okay, so, and also I have to say it project. So first let me show you where that portfolio slug comes. Here is portfolio slug. All right, so that's actually coming from here, and under rewrite rules we pass it here. Okay, so instead of portfolios, if we want to say it projects, okay, if I refresh it, keep an eye, yes, keep an eye on this thing, it become projects and add new project. Okay, yes, that was the point. This way, we will be giving user option so they can save in the option name as singular and plural and slug, and that will be showing up perfectly fine here. Now, if I simply refresh it and save it, it became to project. All right, but we will be using portfolio. So I think you understand my point and you got the idea why we use these things. Because if I have to use portfolio, if I have to use project in place of portfolio, so I have to manually replace it everywhere wherever it comes. Yes, now I have simply made a change here and here and there, and we are done. So we have covered almost everything related to custom post type, how to create it inside our custom plugin. Again, let me remind you what we did, rewind it quickly. We started from our constants creation, then we created our main plugin class, we created instance of our class and run our plugin, and in that class we created our custom post type, and in some way we made our post type dynamic. So in future, once we create settings field, we will be binding here, so whatever user adds in the settings field, that will be showing up here. All right, so far so good, we are coming along and everything seems to be taking some nice shape. In the next video, we will be going to discuss about custom taxonomies or category, where we will be, making our items categorized, our portfolio items. Okay, so here we will be having a category field. Based on that, we will be categorizing our items, and these categories will be working as filters of our post type. So in our portfolio, filters will be coming from categories, and actual portfolio items will be coming from portfolio post type. All right, then I think we have covered almost everything. For any of your queries, your issues, your concerns, don't hesitate. Just ping me back under the comments, and I will be trying my best to reach you guys. See you in the next video. Until then, have a nice time. Bye bye.